Alright, this is a video response actually to a comment. I could have just commented, but I think I need to do a video so a lot more people can hear it rather than me comment to one single person or two or three. And I'm getting some responses about, what about the cashless society? And this is in regards to the video I just did yesterday, which was a video response to Brother John F. and Storm Cloud's Gathering, where I make the point in case, again, just like Brother John F. does, for why we should be getting precious metals. Brother John F. spent about a half hour going through several reasons why and disputing what Storm Cloud's Gathering said. And again, if you go look at the video and then go look at this, it's only 6 minutes, I think, with Storm Cloud's Gathering. I mean, he's talking a lot, but it's like there's no substance. There's no reasoning behind it other than his thought, Whereas I try, in Brother John F. too, we show you things, physical things, history, charts, the Federal Reserve buying gold, hoarding gold, China, etc. Why are they doing this if precious metals mean nothing? So I'm going to answer the cashless society question, which is, how, if we're going to cashless society, then your precious metals and stuff are no good anyways. It's a pretty ridiculous comment, actually, when you think of that, because we're kind of on a cashless society as it is. I mean, we all use our debit cards. We all have a digital bank account. And the Federal Reserve and the banks print digital money. I mean, they're not really running a printing press. You know what I mean? We all know that. We all agree to that. I mean, that's obvious. Sure, you can go get some cash, that kind of thing. But just a little FYI, I went to go get $500 out of the bank, $560 out of my bank account on Friday night. Sorry, you can only have 500. Bank's closed. Call the back of my card. Yeah, there's nothing we can do unless we upgrade your account. But there could be fees involved if we upgrade your account. So you can't just like bypass the little $500 rule for a second. I need to get $60 more out. Well, what you can do is go to Walmart or some other grocery store, but I just say Walmart, and just buy like a pack of gum, and then ask for like $60 cash back, and they'll give it to you. You just punch in your PIN number. Oh, okay. So my bank's advising me to go to Walmart, buy a pack of gum, so I can get the $60 out that the bank won't give me. Interesting, isn't that? That's a whole nother video. Having said that, it's kind of a little taste of a cashless society. Oh, can't withdraw that many digital dollars. Sorry. So let me go here with this. The comment, cashless society. If we're in a cashless society, which is where we're supposed to be going, then gold, silver, precious metals, they're pretty worthless. Are precious metals worthless right now, this very second? No. Because in the currencies of the world today, there's a price for precious metals. And it's not just one currency that sets the price. It doesn't matter where you're located in the world, whatever your currency's exchange rate is with the rest of the world's currencies, you may pay a hell of a lot more to get your hands on gold and silver than, say, someone in America or the EU or whatever. Now, let's just pretend we're in a full-blown cashless society. There's no more cash. It's all swiping your card, digital numbers on a screen in your bank account. You can't go in and withdraw money. I mean, it's all digital. Cashless society. In a cashless society, is gasoline worth something or is it free? I'm assuming we still have to pay digital phony digits on the screen, aka money, digital dollars, cashless society dollars on gas. I mean, if you want to drive a car, you still got to pay for that. I'm assuming this cashless society doesn't mean everyone lives in where everyone's free to get stuff for free, So I'm sure gasoline has a price. That's a commodity. Sugar, coffee beans, food, wheat, etc. I think it's safe to assume that those things have a price tag attached to them. Gotta love kids screaming in the background. So these things all have a price. You can see where I'm going with this. You're going to go buy a car? Yeah, it's going to have a price. For example, a used car today, $5,000 American dollars. Get a decent used car, $5,000. In a digital cashless society, is that car going to be worth $5,000? Or is it going to be free? No, you're going to have to pay for it. So your digital account will be digitally deducted. Let's just say 5,000 credits. We'll call them credits instead of money. That used car now costs you 5,000 credits. So either I'm a complete bozo here, or my brain, I'm slight retardation going on, or maybe I'm completely normal when I say this. So just bear with me. And if I'm a retard, you can tell me to my face or my comments there. Would gold and silver just go to zero all of a sudden in a cashless society? Like they're not worth anything all of a sudden? In digital credits, I mean, it takes physical labor to get it out of the ground. All the easy stuff has already been taken off the face of the earth. So we have to mine for it, definitely. There's no more, unless you go watch these TV shows like Alaskan Gold Rush or Bering Sea Gold, whatever it's called, and they're out there scuba diving to get this, stuff off this ancient seabed, whatever, riverbed. Looks a little easier over there, but even that, most people who go there fail. Their companies fail, they lose, they lost their money, etc. Point being, it takes labor, and not tiny labor. It takes pretty hefty machinery, big equipment, and lots of labor to get the job done, to get this precious metals, whether it's gold or silver or both, out of the ground. And the last time I checked, even in a cashless digital society, money, currency, I'm quite certain the wages will still have to be paid in digital dollars. The equipment, such as massive backhoes and tractors and things, that will have to be paid for the same way it is today, except rather than using cash or writing a check, it's a digital transaction. So if those people are doing that today, and have been, as a matter of fact, forever, there's always been miners of gold. Always, forever. Ever. Never even a time and period where no one's mining gold anymore, or silver. It just completely stopped. Across the world, everyone stopped. Yeah, okay. So that practice has gone on forever. You could argue the same thing about farmers, right? People got to eat, got to farm, etc. So farming is another thing that's never not happened. There's always been farming somewhere, obviously, or we wouldn't be here. And I find that interesting because you don't have to have gold and silver. I mean, technically, do we? Yet it's been around the same time, just like farming has. And it's, for as far as we can tell in history, when there's been farming, there's been gold. So there's some kind of appetite for gold and silver that's just unexplainable. It's always there. But there's other things that might not always be there. We don't make horse and buggies really anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, you can go to the Amish, but you get the point. We're not making steam engines and choo-choo trains, right? We have higher technology. That's a thing of the past. So there's now a time period where that's gone. And prior to us inventing those things, we didn't know about them. We weren't doing it. But again, gold and silver have been around forever. And it's still around. And to this day, people are pulling it out of the ground. They're not pulling it out of the ground for free. Therefore, the price of precious metals, even if they get destroyed in price from where they're at right now, they can never, ever, ever go to zero. So when people talk about this, well, why you even mess with precious metals? Storm clouds gatherings, right? What do you say? If I told you let me just sell all my silver, and let's just say for a nice even number, I'm just gonna make this up. I've got 10 grand in my pocket, $10,000. Sell everything. I got $10,000, right? Now I've got 10 grand. What do I go do with 10 grand? Can't really go buy a house with that. Can't really buy a nice piece of land somewhere for that. I mean, unless you're in the middle of nowhere, like there's probably parts of Tennessee, which I love Tennessee, some rural areas. You can go get a couple acres, 2-3 acres, maybe 4 acres for 10 grand, but it's completely bare. You're not going to have a well. There's not going to be electricity. There's not going to be nothing on the land. So there goes my 10 grand. Now what? And I'm saying this in advance of an argument for someone to say, well, go buy an asset like land. And your reasoning for land being an asset is because land can't go to zero either, correct? I know the answer is yes. Coffee beans can't go to zero. Wheat, corn, food can never go to zero. Those are the true definitions of a commodity. And strangely enough, even though we can't eat or plant or whatever gold and silver, for some odd reason, they can never go to zero either because people continuously pull them out of the ground. And if we were to stop pulling them out of the ground, we don't need it anymore. Then that means whatever's left on Earth prior to that day is going to go up seriously in value because all of a sudden it becomes very short supplied because no one's pulling it out of the ground. And by the way, gold and silver are used in electronics, especially silver. Jewelry, of course. Jewelry's been around for as long as mankind's been around practically. Jewelry going back ages and ages. So there's gold and silver. There's a reason there that it can't just go away. Diamonds. No one wants a raw diamond. They got to put it in something like gold, silver, band, etc. These are all things that guarantee you that gold and silver will never, ever, ever go to zero. So, excuse me if I'm telling my subscribers and myself and doing it myself that I'm going to take a huge chance on buying precious metals to hopefully, maybe, and this isn't guaranteed, but maybe secure my financial livelihood based off of the factual things we see today, such as the national debt, massive printing of money out of control, etc. Because if I don't do that, what do you suggest I do? Invest in the market? You may say yes. Okay, got a question for you. Because I just gave you ample evidence that gold and silver can never ever go to zero. If it went to zero or close to zero, it would be so short-lived, it would be the biggest fake out in history. It would scare everyone to sell, and then the price would skyrocket. Again, they can't produce gold and silver for $0, $1, $2, $5, $10 to get it out of the ground. The last I heard, the minimum for silver was like $15 an ounce to get it out of the ground. So there's an automatic price right now set in stone. And if gas prices rise, thank you, can I have a drink? If gas prices rise, then automatically the prices of gold and silver rise because it takes that machinery, gasoline, to run to get it out of the ground too. So there's a little price reassurance there. So let's assume I'm going to sell my silver. I'm going to go and do what you say, and I'm going to invest in the market. Can the market go to zero? Can all these paper stocks go to zero? Yes. Have we ever seen that happen? Yes, many times. And in the best case scenarios of when those markets are crashing or a stock is absolutely being decimated, it doesn't go to zero. Maybe you bought in at $60 or $70 or $100 and it went down to $2 or $3. And then you sold. Hey, it didn't go to zero. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather have something like precious metals that, see, you could be forced to sell that stock. Because if the company goes bankrupt, you lose. So you may be forced to sell that stock at $2 or $3 or $1 or 50 cents. Whereas if I see a destruction in the precious metals market, I don't have to sell anything. I got a physical object and sitting in my hand. And I can wait. I can wait for it to go back up. You cannot do that with the stock. Unless you just assume, well, I'll let the market recover. That assumes your stock's going to recover. That assumes your company's going to continually be around. Don't want to take my chances on that. So maybe your argument is, well, forget, no, I wouldn't dare tell anyone to go in the paper market. I'm not telling them to go into silver and gold, but I'm not telling them to go into the market. Then where are you telling people to go to try to save any kind of financial livelihood they've had? To take them from middle class to poor, what do you recommend that they do to kind of hang on to that middle class level? I'm all ears. I'm listening. And if your solution is to buy land, it's not a bad solution, but sitting on a piece of land, don't know what all that's going to do for you, because you're not going to be selling land for, commodity of things you need. You're not going to really, you wouldn't sell your land for food. You'd think, well, you'd want to have land to grow food on, that kind of thing. And again, you got to have a job, so you're going to go buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere and say, oh, I got my bug out location. Now what? Okay, now what? Go live in a tent? Meanwhile, I'm going to have precious metals and wait for all this crap to happen because I know what history shows me. I'm very confident what history shows me is going to be right. Even if they destroy the markets and for a little while, the precious metals markets, I'm prepared for that. I will not be selling. I've thought about it. Not going to happen. I will hang on and ride it back to the top. We have people, if precious metals don't mean anything, why are there so many massive billions and billions and billions of dollars, paper, silver, dollars into that just to keep the price down, and it still continually rises, and they fight it, and it goes down a little bit, and it goes back up. They're fighting it, losing billions and billions of dollars constantly on this short position. Why are they doing that if precious metals mean nothing? And if they are doing that, which they are, obviously, we already seen the evidence, then that means they have to supply more and more and more paper to keep the price where they can handle it. Which also means that the price is suppressed more and more and more than what it should be. Which also means the prices currently today for precious metals are a fire sale bargain. Especially silver. Forget gold. Silver. Then you take into account someone like Lindsey Williams, who has the elitist friends, the oil executives, that have been telling him what's going to happen in the world. Not just like money and gold and stuff. Everything. The uprisings in Egypt. This massive oil well called the U.S. Liberty rig, where it's going to be heading over into Alaska, the largest ever. They're getting it on standby to pump that oil out of the ground. They told him all these things. It happened just like he said. The timing may not be 100% perfect. Usually it is. But the events, as he said, sometimes their timing gets thrown off. But when they tell me they're going to do something, they do it. And I haven't been wrong yet because they are telling me. It's not because I'm some prophet or psychic. And if that man confirms my suspicions about precious metals being a good thing to have, and he said the minimum, the price where they want to put it, they want 3,000 gold, and they want dollar gold, and they want around $75 to $100 silver. We're at $32 silver today. That means it will triple. That means the price of silver will triple in the worst case scenario for us precious metal holders. What about the best case? Well, the best case is that they lose control of their paper market, because nothing lasts forever. No manipulation lasts forever. This is a fact. And then the prices would explode to where they belong based on all that phony fake paper that they printed the whole time, which was backed by nothing, claiming that they had all the silver, people betting back and forth, trading silver paper as if it really existed, and it's never, not a single ounce was produced out of the ground. This is a fact everybody knows. They already tell you that automatically in the paper markets, futures contract. It's a futures contract. It's future gold and silver prices. That's all it is. You're betting on a bet. You're betting on a future price of something. And they can move 200-300 million ounces, world productions, worth of gold and silver in a matter of an hour or so, if they want to. And they've done pretty much that before. And not one thing of physical silver moved out of the ground, was produced, was not produced, whatever. It's just, not produced, but, they didn't go mine it. Just paper back and forth trading. I'm not taking my chance on a paper game. I'm taking my chance on something physical. If you have a better solution to do, tell someone you've got all this money, let's say, what do I do with it? Because if it sits here and we have a devaluation and go to a cashless society, then I lose anyways. If the stock market crashes, I lose, unless I'm sitting on the sidelines with the cash, but then I'm going to got to worry about the dollar devaluation. That's going to suck. What do? What does history tell us? Gold and silver. It's that simple. Cashless society or not, gold and silver will have a price in the cashless society too.